Oke, jadi ini konversasi ya. Jadi, oke, selamat datang di konversasi teman-teman di podcast konversasi. Kali ini nggak pakai video. Kenapa? Karena malas. Kenapa malas? Kenapa malas? Karena ya, this is what we are gonna talking about. Oke guys, hari ini aku bersama Betari Aisyah, my dear friend, my far friend yang ada di Bristol, United Kingdom, Inggris, teman-teman. She's amazing, not like me. I'm just like awful kind of guy.
No, don't be.
And yeah, you know, she always be there for me when I'm kind of stuck. So yeah. Anyway, Betari, di sana ada bocor suara yang aneh-aneh.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing that. Okay, so guys, hari ini aku mau cerita. Mungkin agak curhat gitu ya. But I think at this kind of situation, everyone have something in their mind. Benar gak sih, Betari?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Kayak di situation ya, kalau misalnya kalian nggak tahu, mungkin kalian dengar podcast ini tahun 2021 atau 2022 atau mungkin 5 tahun kemudian ya, 2025.
Yeah.
Oke, guys, story short buat kalian yang belum lahir tahun 2020 dan belum mengerti apa-apa tentang ini, tahun 2020 everything's going down. Australia terbakar, banyak artis-artis terkenal meninggal, Kobe Bryant, gitu ya, Kobe Bryant, and then now there is this thing called coronavirus. This coronavirus is like, I'm not really good at explaining biological stuff. How about you, Betari?
Oh well, it's definitely not something easy to explain, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a pandemic, but it affects us not only in health wise, it affects us socially, economically, and what we're going to talk today is about the creative industry as well. So it changes our lives in a way, in many ways actually.
In so many ways.
So many, yeah.
This thing is so big, even my father said 56 tahun dia hidup, ini baru pertama kalinya dunia like this, you know.
Yeah, can you imagine? So,
in some way, kayak kita beruntung kita merasakan hal ini, but really unfortunately we taste this thing.
Yeah, you know, yeah. it's like live up. Ini nggak sih, aku tuh ngerasa apalagi di awal-awal tuh kayak film nggak sih? Sumpah deh, kayak goodness, gue nggak pernah nyangka di Inggris bakalan ngantri beli telur, man.
Oh iya, real? Oh iya.
Iya, ini sempat ada beberapa barang yang langka kan. Jadi kayak goodness, I've never imagined to do this kind of stuff in negara yang maju banget gitu loh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think gara-gara Betari di Inggris, aku lama gak catching up sama dia. How are you, Betari?
Well, not that. Alive.
Alive.
That's the best answer that many of us can give when being asked, how are you? Fine is so yesterday. You know?
It's like, fine is like, that's nice. That's very nice. I can use that. Yeah, jadi coronavirus really affect us in a lot of ways. Dan apa ya, untuk orang-orang seperti aku dan mungkin banyak teman-teman kita yang dengar podcast ini, are you guys feeling stuck right now, or a few days ago, or a few weeks ago? Kayak males gitu, mau berkarya males, kerja kayak berasa hampa. Gimana menurut kalian, teman-teman? Atau gimana sih menurut Betari sendiri?
Well, that's definitely this pandemic in a nutshell. Yeah, like di awal mungkin kita masih panik dengan the fact that
the panic is real. The panic is real.
Yeah, it was about the disease at first ya kan, kayak kita aduh gua besok nanti jangan-jangan gua kena dan lain sebagainya gitu kan, ada ketakutan.
Kamu pernah sampai demam nggak di musim corona ini?
Not exactly demam, but mentally demam kali ya.
Oh
Ya
my
nggak
god,
sih?
aku
Kayak-
sempat kena loh by the way. Kayak,
Really?
oh dude, I'm getting corona dude, like something like that.
You're tested positive, or you just like you feel like you catch it?
Jadi sebenarnya aku udah kayak feeling good, dan pas kita rapid test itu hasilnya ternyata aku dalam masa pemulihan. Ya berarti aku pernah kena, but it's not really hit me there, you know,
Oh,
that kind of
goodness.
stuff.
Wow. But are you all right now? Like, you okay?
Ya, I'm really fine.
Oh,
Kayak,
that's
ya,
good.
you know, mungkin karena banyak pekerjaan-pekerjaan juga yang harus membuatku bertemu dengan orang. Kalau misalnya teman-teman tahu, di Indonesia ibadah, semua jenis ibadah itu diwajibkan untuk online.
Right.
Dan gue kan, ya you know, the creative guy on the community yang disuruh ngeproduserin konten itu, dan harus ketemu sama banyak orang dong.
Wow.
And that's crazy, yeah.
That's super crazy. You aware of that?
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
But everything
Yeah.
is alright now.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah. I mean, like this thing, it was so close to home. Like it's nothing compares to it. I mean, yeah. Talking about online worshiping, I had one friend in the Muslim community I have here, and she contracted the virus like in the beginning of the
Oh
virus.
my.
She was one of the first COVID patients in my city here. So we
On Bristol. Oh
in
my god.
Bristol, yeah. So after about 2 weeks, I think we've decided, like some of us decided to call her through Zoom, like the video call, because she was just discharged from the hospital, and she told us about the story. She's a really healthy person. She's not
Oh my.
a person in your mind that will contract the coronavirus. She is a very healthy person. What she said, she told us even after a week, I think that was a week or 2 weeks after the discharge, she said she's still having so much hard time catching her breath and doing daily activity.
Oh my.
It really ruined her lungs somehow. So, goodness, this is scary.
That's super scary.
Iya. I mean, yang menjadi mengerikan kan karena tiap orang bisa punya respon yang berbeda tentang virus ini kan, gitu loh.
And we don't know.
We
never know about someone else.
Exactly. Some people
Bahkan diri kita sendiri kita nggak tahu loh.
you know, bisa jadi kita sebenarnya positive but we don't show any symptoms and we don't feel anything. But for some others mungkin mereka dia ketularan dan langsung bisa fatal gitu kan. We never know. It literally kayak Russian roulette gitu loh, ngeri kali kok.
Yeah, that's really scary.
But you know what? That's not the worst part apparently. Like it shifted from the fear of the disease into the fear of the uncertainty now. Like what's ahead? Like what I can expect in the future. We don't have anything to expect. So
Talking about that, it's like, yeah, for real. I feel that. Yeah, what I want to do in the future, or even right now, what I want to do. Kita mau ngapain sih? Mau berkarya, but itu aja.
Yeah. Like, ya ampun, yang biasanya kita bisa ketemu orang banyak, gitu kan. We can go to some, I don't know, like mass gathering. We can go to some concert. We can go to some congregation. We can go to restaurants. Sometimes we can just chill in a cafe and you know, ya hanya untuk men-trigger
Even though aku dan Betari itu introvert. We don't go out much actually, but it affects us for real.
Yeah, you know, it's like we don't have that option now.
Iya, kayak merasa powerless gitu loh.
Yeah. But actually, I've got a really late reactions loh, Kusbin. Waktu awal itu kan everybody udah panik kan, kayak 2 minggu pertama lockdown itu. Everybody tuh kayak yang restless banget, dan aku tuh masih santai, masih santai aja.
Yeah, I think I know that.
You know what?
I see that.
Karena kita nggak tahu ya, kalau aku merasa karena aku terbiasa by myself and with my own mind and my own thoughts gitu. Jadinya ya di awal-awal tuh nggak terlalu nggak se-restless orang-orang yang mungkin hanging out adalah kebutuhannya ya gitu. Jadi
I feel the same.
Iya. Aduh, itu benar-benar yang
tetap aja corona ini making me feel super powerless, you know.
Yeah, you know, it surprised me how it impacts me like about 2 weeks after. So during that 2 weeks kayak banyak banget teman-teman dari Indonesia yang reach out kayak are you okay? How is it there? Dan lain sebagainya.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, they've been so sweet, but I was confused like why? I'm okay. Like I wasn't panic at all. I've got a professional counselor who talks with me, and she was kind of concerned about my reaction because are you sure? I mean, I've always been a very jittery, fidgety person, and now it even surprised me how calm I was. So he was trying to make sure I was okay, but then I think that was a delayed reaction because 2 weeks after, I'm the one who got panicked finally.
Oh, waktu kamu akhirnya ngantri beli telur dan kenapa telur habis ya?
Yeah, it's getting
kayaknya something is wrong.
You even have to like use your toilet paper carefully because you might run out of it next time. So it's kind of so absurd. Anyway, yeah, that was the beginning. Yeah,
that's the beginning of the story. Menceritakan bahwa there is this thing called coronavirus and it's affect us in benar-benar signifikan gitu loh. Dan it's been like 4 months already actually.
Yeah.
Dari Februari, Maret, April, dan sekarang udah Mei.
Oh, crazy.
This kind of thing really hurts my willpower, guys. Itu willpowerku kena banget sih. Kayak kedrain. I'm really stuck. Dan aku tahu banyak orang juga yang stuck. But you guys confused. Where to ask or where to share. Me too, but I got Betari here. So I'm gonna share with Betari about that thing.
I think that will be the same way to you.
Oh, of course, you should. You should.
All right.
Yeah, like, why not? Betari is so nice to me. I need to be nice with her, to her too, right?
Thank you.
So yeah. Anyway, my state right now is like, kamu tahu, there is some work that kamu gak bisa ambil credit. And then, for example, yang aku tadi ceritain singkat ya, bahwa I'm making a content for the Christian community, for example, like that. And yeah, I should not take credit from that. You know, I'm not feeling that satisfied about making it. It's good, but that's that. It's stuck there. And then, for example, design job.
Yeah.
Hanya kerja desain dan kamu harus mengikuti kemauan klien. Kalau kamu gak bisa ikutin kemauan klien, you're not a designer, dude.
That's true.
And that's really consuming me too. Walaupun hasilnya bagus, beneran kamu harus lihat hasilnya dan it's really nice actually. It's really commercial. Sangat-sangat komersial juga. And then I did something for our family food and beverage business. But that's that again. And then I work for konversasi. Konversasi itu kenapa ya? Kayak aku selalu bilang ke kalian semua, konversasi itu is not for looking for subscriber or looking for money. I do it for the sake of sharing the thoughts of people. Dan aku nggak ambil kredit apapun di konversasi, really. I don't feel like I'm taking the credit. Jadi kalau mau dibilang responsibility, check. I did some work. I have money to eat, to buy things, and then what to say? I think everything. The world needs what I do. I do what I can do. I get money from what I do. But I don't get the satisfaction, Never in my life I expect myself to live in this kind of state, Siapa sih yang mau mengerjakan hal yang dia gak cintai? Akhirnya aku jadi kayak gini. It can hit you like this, really.
Yeah. What quite struck me was ketika kamu bilang bahwa actually you did enough in a way, like you did what you need to do. And you did your responsibility, which is actually not a problem, but at the same time, it feels different. It doesn't satisfy you anymore. It feels more like a chores, like a task rather than something that you enjoy. And please know that even things that we enjoy, even hobbies now, it gets more obsolete. Don't you think? Like kayak udah
kayaknya ya.
Karena udah terlalu sering dilakuin gitu kan. Kalau dulu mungkin kita ngelakuin itu karena we love it, karena we take a break from our busy life and we enjoy it as a break. But now it's like a coping strategy. It's like we do it all the time until we don't feel fulfilled anymore by that. And it's an unprecedented time. Ini benar-benar kayak masa yang kita nggak kira akan terjadi in our lifetime gitu kan.
Aku nggak tahu kalau misalnya corona nggak ada, is this gonna still happen to me? Kayak, is this a normal thing that should I face? Atau emang gara-gara situasi seperti ini yang membuat aku nggak punya jalan keluar?
I think the thing is, this coronavirus thing is no joke. It's definitely a big thing that affects us. It affects us significantly. So, apakah kamu tidak mungkin mengalami perasaan seperti ini di luar corona? Bisa jadi iya gitu. Tetapi dengan adanya corona ini sebenarnya yang tadinya mungkin kita tidak mengalami, jadi mengalami gitu loh. I think in one of my episode di Beta Cerita tuh aku sempat ngobrol dengan salah satu psikolog relawan, kayak gugus tugas gitu lah ya, yang ngurusin konseling gratis di Indonesia. Kan sekarang udah ada kayak 911. Kayak 911 tapi kayak kamu dihubungkan dengan psikolog. That's so nice. Kayak finally bertahun-tahun kita memperjuangkan itu, this coronavirus finally.
Kalau mau jadi volunteer di situ gimana sih rasanya?
Kenapa?
Jadi volunteer di situ. Aku harus jadi psikolog untuk bisa volunteer di situ, atau itu kan kayak suicidal ini hotline gitu
kayak
kan?
helpline, iya. Tapi so far yang aku tahu memang untuk psikolog sih, karena mereka pemerintah meng-assign-nya ke Himpunan Psikologi Indonesia. Jadi emang psikolog-psikolog berlisensi yang menjadi konsultan.
Jadi nggak bisa orang-orang seperti Kelvin Kusbin yang abal-abal gitu ya. Nice job, Indonesia.
Yeah, I mean I was surprised too. But talking about that, aku ngerasa kayak one day aku pengen membuat helpline yang bisa include common people like us to help each other. Karena di Inggris itu banyak banget Kusbin, kayak literally.
Ya kayak gitu kan?
Yes, even kayak listening ear doang.
Iya loh.
They're not therapists, they're not psychologists, they're not counselor, but they're trained to listen and respond. And that's super cool. We have so many options here, apalagi selama corona ini ya. Di kampus ada gitu yang di comprised of anak-anak himpunan mahasiswa. Terus ada yang cultural oriented, kayak misalnya khusus black and minority ethnics. Terus ada yang khusus Muslim, Christian, Chinese. We've got lots of options here, and I don't find that in Indonesia. I really want to develop this idea one day, hopefully. Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, that's really nice. Actually, it's pretty simple. You can start with, good branding, good media stuff, and then
Yeah,
start by
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm
Tapi
planning.
that's commitment sih.
That's gonna be lots of commitment. But yang aku sedang pikirkan adalah gimana I can deliver the training for the phone pick up call, like the staffs. So they will deliver the service that will not harm the people.
Iya.
Yeah, I think. But I really want to think it through. Anyway, so where were we? I forget what was the question.
The question is like,
The feeling of
I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stuck. Like, what can I do to feel atau gimana caranya aku bisa puas dengan kerjaanku walaupun kerjaanku emang udah memuaskan. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it.
I can understand that. I definitely experienced that as well. But what we need to remember, Guspin, I constantly remind myself tentang ini sih, kayak this is not the best time to push the best version of yourself. Like,
iya, kayaknya aku pernah baca itu deh, di mana ya?
Maybe on my Instagram.
Have you shared that?
I did share that. Yeah. I think, because a friend of mine actually, so it was kind of funny. I was in the middle of an assignment and I started to feel panic and I called a friend and she was like, I can see that you're panicking. And she reminded me of that this is a bad time for perfection, really. Like, kamu nyelesain tugasmu aja, itu kayak, it literally is a blessing. So, ada banyak yang benar-benar nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain dan debilitated due to the anxiety of the virus. So what I'm trying to say is probably ini adalah ide yang memang asing banget ya, especially buat kita yang terbiasa aktif, terbiasa strive for excellence, terbiasa.
Yeah, we like the feeling of greatness.
Yes,
I'm feeling great.
Yes.
I'm feeling I did something good, like really, really something satisfying.
Exactly. During normal days, we can say I achieved something good or I did something good, but we have to accept that in this period, we need to eliminate the word good. I did something. I achieved something. Is good enough, if you, it's a difficult matter. If you ask me how can I get out of it, I don't know either. I mean, we keep experimenting with this situation right now. We just try, experimenting. Yeah, we try something. If it works, it works. We try something else. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We keep doing that every day because we do not have any certainty right now. Almost zero certainty. Yeah. So I don't think it's healthy to push ourselves to be normal when the situation actually doesn't allow us to be normal.
Tapi jadinya kayak gini loh, Betari. I feel like when saat we all can say just be grateful about this and that, tapi it feels like I lied to myself.
Yeah, we've been challenged to transform our definition of best self, I guess. Maybe what your self is needing right now is not the person who strives the greatness. Maybe what your mind is needing right now is not achieving tremendous things and saving the world. Maybe what your mind is needing right now is you sit still, be there for it, and take it one step at a time, really. Yeah, it's not helpful, I mean, to push ourselves to live life we used to have, because let's accept that we don't have that life anymore.
So the verdict is
yeah.
everyone is stuck now.
Yeah. We have to be honest. Yeah. We cannot stay in denial. Yeah. Sooner or later, we might have to accept that this is how we're gonna have our future. Yeah, maybe we will have time to get out again and see our loved ones, but maybe it's gonna be totally different. But it doesn't mean that we are less human just because we do things differently now. Wow, yeah, I think I need to say that to myself.
Oh my god, ini teman-teman, Betari itu lagi masa-masa exam loh, masa-masa ujian di Inggris.
Yeah.
Is it online exam? You know?
It's all online now. Termasuk supervisi disertasi juga online, and it's so. Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, that's gonna be not easy. Tapi dari verdict yang tadi jadi muncul satu pertanyaan dari aku, Betari. And I hope you can answer it. I don't know if you can answer it or not.
I hope so.
The question is like this. About credit. Kalau misalnya I'm just being grateful about that, not taking credit or, you know, don't feel satisfied with my. Tapi kayaknya ini dua hal yang berbeda deh. Taking credit dengan satisfied with your with what you do gitu loh.
Yeah.
Menurut psikologi itu gimana sih orang yang ambil credit something? Aku selalu dengar kayak orang bule itu selalu punya kayak satu peribahasa di mana you should take credit for anything you do. Tuh.
Yeah.
Either it's good or bad gitu. Kayak mereka really respect this credit things. Kayak siapa desainernya atau ini hak intelijensinya siapa sih gitu loh.
Yeah. I think that's kind of cultural, not cultural bias, but I do think that culture contributes a lot to that. Jujur itu juga adalah sebuah cultural shock buatku ketika sampai sini, karena orang Europe, orang Western itu sangat-sangat suka memuji Guspin. No matter.
Iya kan.
No matter how little gitu loh, mereka tuh benar-benar, if they say you're legendary, it means that you're very good. If they say you're very good, it means you're good in Asian dictionary. So yeah, I mean, sangat bisa dipahami sih ketika sulit untuk merasa satisfied dengan apa yang kita kerjakan in an Asian culture and in a especially
aku sempat kepikiran itu, Betari.
Right, yeah.
Kayak gila di Indonesia itu kamu bikin hal baik gak dianggap. Guys, for real.
Puk.
Iya loh. Dan kalau kamu melakukan kesalahan, that's gonna be emphasized. Really.
Yes. We have
it's really hard. Kayak aku kepikiran juga waktu pikiran tentang itu.
Yeah, I really do not want to menjelekkan culture sendiri ya, but I do think that we need to learn to appreciate more. Aku bisa paham ketika kamu merasa like you're not satisfied with anything you do, because we human in general, we need feedback, right? We need to hear others sometimes and what's their opinion about what we did. But the thing is that kind of mindset actually heavily relies on others, isn't it? Like itu kalau orang lain nggak ngelakuinnya, kita nggak dapat gitu loh. You know what I mean? Like berat banget timbangannya di kontribusi orang lain gitu. Which is, if you ask me personally, I'm still learning myself dengan prosesku sendiri. Kayak terlalu menyerahkan tanggung jawab soal merasa dihargai itu ke orang lain, itu sangat tidak solid gitu loh, sangat tidak stable. Sometimes people can be nice, sometimes most of the time people might not be as expressive, you know, like at the end of the day the credit itu balik lagi ke kitanya sih.
Iya, gak berasa walaupun orang bilang that's great but that's that. You don't feel satisfied, iya kan?
Yeah, that's just human, you know. It's just even though nggak ada
tapi ya namanya manusia want to be credited, bener gak sih?
That's natural.
Walaupun itu nggak memastikan bahwa it's satisfying, tapi we want to get the credit for what we do.
I mean, just because ada orang yang nggak ada orang yang bilang kamu baik gitu, nggak ada orang yang bilang oh you're so kind, it doesn't mean that you're not a kind person, right? Yeah, we are in constant need of validation from others, and that's actually
oh my god.
That's just human, you know. That's interesting because you know I study sociology here, right? And the lecturer wanted us to read a book about how human as a community needs recognition. So the title is really fancy, The Politics of Recognition.
Terus, itu benar gak? Itu benar gak? Yang humans butuh recognition itu?
Yes. Karena apa? Karena we develop our identity and worth nggak lepas dari rekognisinya orang lain. Kalau misalnya
pasti ya.
Contoh ya, yang sering kita temui cewek. Di budaya yang sangat patriarkis, cewek itu kan digambarkan just ya nggak bisa bertumbuh lah gitu, nggak usah sekolah tinggi lah, ikut suami aja dan lain sebagainya. When that recognition is what we receive constantly, lagi dan lagi, lama-lama kita merasa bahwa oh iya ya mungkin aku memang harus jadi seperti itu gitu loh. Kayak kita membangun identitas kita tuh dari mau nggak mau ada yang bilang nggak usah lah mikirin kata orang lain, nggak bisa.
But I'm wondering. Tapi can we wait a sec? Like just give me like 3 seconds or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Tadi kita sampai di aku jadi muncul pertanyaan.
Iya.
About recognition and stuff. Kalau misalnya kita, you know, people recognition kayak misalnya kayak gini. Aku punya pandangan tentang diriku itu misalnya ternyata people recognition about me is B, and then aku sampai di satu titik di mana apakah aku harus menjadi B, tapi aku kayak tahu aku membohongi diriku sendiri saat aku memilih B. And this kind of bukan konflik, apa ya namanya kalau bertentangan di dalam diri sendiri. That's really I feel that I can relate to that. I think a lot of people relate to that.
Definitely, the whole world actually. But then again in that book, aku jadi ngomongin buku itu ya. Jadi mungkin kalau kalian mau search di Google, namanya bukunya Politics of Recognition by Charles Taylor. Yeah, I think Charles Taylor. Yeah. Itu buku sosiologi by theory ya, benar-benar by theory. Tapi I end up learning so much life lessons in that book karena dia bilang gini. Kapan sih awalnya manusia tuh mencintai rekognisi gitu ya? Sejak kapan sih kita tuh butuh rekognisi? Ternyata it started ketika kita masih anak-anak loh gitu. Ketika kita masih kecil, konsepsi baik buruk kita tuh adalah tentang if our parents are happy about it, then it's a good thing. If our parents are angry about it,
dan memuji kita.
I
think I can see the pattern though. Kayak kalau kamu dipuji dari kecil karena melakukan sesuatu, even until now you gonna still do that.
Yeah, because you think that's a good thing, right? That's adalah beginning dari recognition, our need of recognition. Makin besar, mungkin kita udah mulai tinggal jauh dari orang tua misalnya, atau kita sudah mulai bahkan sudah punya penghasilan sendiri, tidak lagi bergantung, atau sudah menikah bahkan dan lain sebagainya. Intinya identitas kita tuh sebenarnya pelan-pelan udah berdiri sendiri tanpa nempel sama identitas orang tua. Nggak kayak waktu kita kecil. But if you are aware of this, kita tuh sebenarnya dialog tentang baik buruk, negosiasi tentang what is precious dan apa yang enggak itu
What is precious?
tetap berjalan gitu. Dialog yang selama ini adalah dialog kita dengan orang tua itu terinternalisasi jadi internal parents dalam diri kita yang bakal kita bawa sampai tua. And meaning that actually yang aku take away points yang aku dapat dari situ ya, recognition itu adalah constant process of negotiation gitu. Kita nggak akan pernah bisa benar-benar lepas dari I don't need the recognition. Nggak mungkin. Nggak mungkin. Kita semua
ini aku di posisi itu sekarang kayaknya. Enggak, aku gak mau ambil kredit, aku biasa aja. Aku mau dibilang bajingan.
So this book is a slap on your face. Dia bilang nggak mungkin gitu loh, nggak mungkin. Yang ada adalah kita mungkin bernegosiasi tentang level dari recognition yang kita butuhkan. Kalau dulu waktu kecil mungkin kita butuh puji-puji, butuh dibeliin hadiah misalnya dan sebagainya. Mungkin sekarang bentuknya beda gitu. Kita merasa dengan orang, let's say bayar kita sesuai dengan quality gitu kan, atau misalnya orang sekedar express how they feel about our creation, itu udah cukup buat kita gitu loh. They don't have to like it in a way that is explicit. Itu udah cukup buat kita. Ya itulah, jadi sebenarnya nggak ada yang namanya.
That's interesting.
It is, you know, like kita nggak mungkin ada di posisi like 100% genuineness itu. I personally don't believe that juga sih. Gitu. Pasti kita butuh recognition.
Tapi bukan artinya kamu nggak baik ya kalau kamu nggak genuine di 100% itu.
Ya. It's just a little bit extreme. Even kita bukan Mother Teresa gitu loh. Not every one of us is destined to be Mother Teresa or I don't know, Martin Luther King.
Tapi mungkin Mother Teresa juga punya sense of recognition yang berbeda dari kita. Mungkin dia merasa dihargai saat anak-anak itu tumbuh mungkin, atau mereka finally fall.
Yeah, a different form of feedback, right? Even a transcendental feedback from God. Itu juga adalah bentuk recognition yang kita yearning for as someone.
Wait. Transcendental message from God.
Yes. Tuhan akan bless aku kalau aku melakukan ini. God will love me if I did it. Ya, itu juga recognition nggak sih? Cuma bentuknya bukan human gitu, itu bentuknya bukan manusia, tapi dari kekuatan yang di luar manusia. And it matters as well.
That's a nice theory, like, you know.
Yeah.
So it's okay to expect some recognition or no?
If you ask me, yeah, definitely, no shame on that. It's just
itu untuk menjaga kemanusiaanmu gitu ya?
Yeah. It's just human being human. Why be ashamed of that? Yeah, definitely.
Makanya saat kamu berusaha untuk gak bilang kayak kepada dirimu I don't need recognition, ya kamu conflicted kayak sekarang kayak Calvin Kusbin gitu ya.
I don't know. How do you feel? How does that make you feel?
Oh God, I wish nobody feel like me actually. Yeah, the recognition. Iya, kalau nggak ada, kalau di buku itu, kalau nggak dapat recognition itu, manusia itu kan jadi kenapa?
Dia bisa membangun identitas yang distorted, Kusbin. Like what I said to you. Yeah, I mean distorted in the way it doesn't actually reflect their authenticity. Ya kayak itu tadi yang contoh aku kasih ya, dia sebenarnya anak pintar, anak cewek yang baik-baik, tapi karena didoktrin gitu kan, direfleksi identitas yang dikasih sama orang sekelilingnya itu adalah rekognisi yang membuat dia mundur gitu, yang prevent her from achieving more. Akhirnya lama-lama kayak ada glass ceiling yang membuat dia merasa, ya maybe this what I deserve gitu loh. Jadi kayak refleksi proyeksi identitasnya tuh nggak lagi authentic karena rekognisi yang dia terima, rekognisi yang dia internalisasikan itu nggak sehat gitu loh.
Ini semakin mendorong di mana kita benar-benar harus membuat sebuah community yang positif nggak sih? Bukan toxic positivity ya, tahu kan toxic positivity teman-teman? Terlalu positif, semuanya dipositifkan.
Yeah.
Tapi the authentic, the nice one,
Yeah, that's really important to have some. Nggak perlu banyak-banyak sebenarnya. Sometimes you just need one or two persons telling you to keep going and be on your side.
Just like a parent, yeah, kayak couple of parents.
Yeah, definitely a safe place for you. It could be anyone, but you need that. You need that all your life. And me too.
Makanya orang pacaran selalu bertanya, do you still love me? Something like that, right?
Yeah, because that's a recognition. When they hear their partner saying, I still love you, or you're still beautiful to me, that's a recognition. And we need that.
That's gonna be relieving.
Yeah, we need to be reassured, and no shame on that. It's just us. Mm-hmm.
So the question is answered. Like, I'm stuck. Maybe that's the problem of recognition. I don't get the recognition I wish I get. And then I need to negotiate with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then another question, last question, if we can finish this is gonna be really helping for people, I guess.
I hope so. Yeah.
How to know aku butuh recognition dari siapa?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Yeah, there's a lot of answer in the air. Kayak orang tua, maybe. I think ada banyak banget temanku yang mengharapkan recognition dari orang tuanya mereka. Ada yang mengharapkan recognition dari social media. I don't know, guys. Tapi kayaknya ada.
Ada lah. Iya. Kembali lagi sih, recognition itu negosiasi, including itu mostly adalah negosiasi kita dengan diri kita sendiri, kayak recognition yang mana yang mau kita internalisasikan dan recognition yang mana yang ibaratnya ya kita dengerin tapi nggak kita ambil hati gitu loh. Karena gini, even I recently learned this really good point from my conversation with a friend, and I think it's important for me to share this. So aku juga tipe orang yang sangat yearning recognition from my loved ones. Dan kurasa ada banyak orang yang juga berpikiran sama gitu. It's important for them to get recognition from their parents, from their siblings, from their partners. But the thing is, bukan berarti ketika mereka itu memberikan recognition yang buruk or something yang nggak helpful buat kamu gitu, terus kamu jadi worthless. You can love them and be upset about them at the same time, and you're allowed to feel so. Nggak bisa kita expect bahwa karena kita love someone, we'll be constantly happy about our relationship with them and our interaction of recognition with them.
And constantly being kind to them, bukan kind sih, bikin kayak the kind that you're like, yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
Not like that. I think you need to be honest that in that part.
Yeah. Yes. Even malah lebih penting loh buat orang yang memang beneran sayang sama kita, buat kita honest sama mereka gitu. Jujur in a way, if you hurt me, and I need to express that to you, and I need to feel safe to express that to you. Kayaknya itu jadi penting, itu malah jadi perekat buat relasi kalian gitu. Kalau emang kamu ngerasa you're less recognized and you think you need that, why not go first? Why not stepping up and say I feel kita jarang ngomong soal something yang menurutmu butuh recognition. I know that we both work hard on this, but I don't think that we talk much about it. Do you want to talk about it? I think itu adalah hal yang penting juga gitu loh, karena itu kita butuh dengar apa kata orang lain sometimes. But I know it's not easy for some people. I can totally understand that because I've been there as well. Sometimes orang-orang yang kita sayangi dan kita anggap bisa menjadi sumber energi terbaik, ternyata kadang juga bisa jadi sumber energi yang tidak sustainable gitu loh, Gus Bini.
Iya. Sopan banget kamu, bisa jadi disappointing gitu. That's terlalu gentle, I think. Tapi yeah, that's such a gentle way to say it.
Yeah,
If you're a guy, you're gonna be a fuckboy, you know.
No way. But that's my
That's the
point.
smooth. That's the smooth.
I think I adopt some British culture already. I don't say things explicitly anymore. But anyway, ya intinya itulah. Jangan itu ada ingat bahwa ini proses negosiasi. We should allow change to happen, termasuk change in the people yang kita harapkan untuk memberikan recognition. Karena even our loved ones, they're human, and yeah, life is fluctuating for everyone, termasuk buat orang-orang yang kita sayangi. So, menggantungkan mereka sebagai satu-satunya sumber keberhargaan diri, I think it's not healthy as well. You need to open up yourself to different alternatives, including open up yourself to the option of recognizing yourself.
Jadi jawaban dari pertanyaan yang tadi. Tunggu, kayaknya masih ada lanjutannya deh. Kita tunggu.
What I'm about to say is I would like to suggest a way that works for me. Maybe you wanna give it a shot, give it a try. So sebenarnya kita tuh orang yang setipe, Kuswin. Kayak aku sangat recognition oriented in a way ya. Jadi ketika recognition yang aku terima itu tidak sesuai ekspektasiku, kayak berpikir keras gitu loh. What's wrong with it? What I can do about it? Iya, jadi kayak benar-benar aku ingat one time I told one of my closest colleagues, and I told him like, well, you know, when you say this, I feel this way, and I want to let you know that everything you say is actually meaningful to me, and I give it a thought every single time. So I think I need you to be more careful with your words. I didn't really say that. Karena aku sadar bahwa aku orangnya sangat sensitif terhadap recognition and feedback from others. Tapi lately I developed a really healthy habit, I guess. Jadi aku so every night before sleep, I like to keep a diary, but not a diary yang kamu kira. It's not the diary of.
Aku suka banget nulis loh, sumpah.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Ya, karena jadi kamu bisa menumpahkan what you think kan gitu loh. Itu menjadi sesuatu yang kelihatan oleh matamu instead of dia hanya muter-muter di kepala kan. But my diary here is itu nggak sekedar kayak my feelings gitu loh atau pengalamanku hari itu apa enggak. Tapi it's more like a logbook where I list things that I did that day. So for example, today I called you, I talked to Puspin, and I tried to record what I feel about that. How do I feel about that?
So it's like a reverse to-do list.
Yeah. Yes.
To do journal. Oh no, to do journal is like to-do list.
Like
reverse to-do list journal.
Reverse to-do list. It's more like a done list.
Done list. Oh, hey, we can sell this idea.
Yeah. So. Because I was struggling, I think I was in a similar phase as well. Aku ngerasa I did a lot, I worked hard, but I didn't achieve much. But I started that habit, I think, since a month ago. I've started to be more mindful about what I did that day. Like, apparently I've got like 4 or 5 things get done today. Well, that's not bad at all. I thought I was achieving 0. You know what I mean? Like,
tapi kadang kayak orang-orang kan kalau misalnya terpaku sama hal seperti itu, I don't know. Me ya misalnya, I have a to-do list to improve my productivity.
Yeah.
Tapi saat aku nggak nyelesain to-do listku itu akan buat aku down. Tapi kalau down list gak ada yang kayak gitu ya.
Who cares?
Who cares? Kalau down list kan nggak ada yang kayak gitu.
Karena aku bukan orang yang bisa berdamai dengan to-do list juga. I got very anxious using to-do list. Dan my previous job itu require me untuk constantly use to-do list, dan it was not the best time of my life. I've got this idea from a person I know, and I tried the habit. I started the habit. You'll be surprised that along the way, ternyata kamu pelan-pelan bisa get back to your rhythm tanpa kamu sadari gitu loh. Because you keep recognizing that you did something and slowly but surely kayak badanmu dan jiwamu itu pelan-pelan udah bisa we got this gitu loh. Ternyata kita nggak seburuk yang kita pikirkan. That's really helpful to me. I
think kita harus kasih disclaimer di sini that you need to be extremely honest about it.
Oh yeah, sure. Obviously.
Karena aku takutnya, I don't know, karena aku orang yang kayak waktu tulis itu aku nulis banyak banget kan.
Yeah, we need to be realistic.
Ini kerjain itu.
Yes.
And to be honest with that, kayak apa ya, to be honest dan mungkin to be ada orang yang kayak aku misalnya kayak gini, aku melakukan sesuatu tapi aku rasa itu small thing, misalnya fixing my dad's PC.
Oh, that's cool.
That's small thing and I don't count that gitu misalnya.
Yeah.
Ya kayak aku orang yang sangat memilih untuk merasa melakukan sesuatu gitu loh.
Okay, but you know what? Especially in this kind of situation, you really need to be more sensitive or kayak sharpen your radar about what's work, like what matters and not. I will give you an example, I guess. Mungkin ini awalnya nggak comfortable gitu, karena itu terasa sebagai jadi sesuatu yang nggak besar gitu kan. But you need that. Trust me, you need to record that. Let me see. I'm holding my diary right now.
I think I should make a template for done list and share it. Karena kita udah pernah share to-do list di konversasi.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make this. This is gonna be so fun.
It's interesting, isn't it? I've learned it.
Done list.
Done list, yeah. Okay, let me see. What is the recent one? Give me a second. So many interesting stuffs here.
Selagi Betari mencari ya guys. Jadi aku mungkin review beberapa hal dari pembicaraan kita. Corona is here and it makes people stuck. For example, me, I'm really stuck. And why I'm stuck? Because I feel like I don't get the credit I deserve. And that's really connect with recognition. I don't feel satisfied because ya emang manusia itu gak bisa lari dari recognition. Kayak gitu ya Betari ya?
Yeah, that's correct.
Mau sejujur, kamu harus jujur banget sama dirimu bahwa ya I still need recognition. Nah pertanyaannya adalah dari siapa? Dan ternyata pertanyaan ini dijawab dengan pertanyaan lagi, yaitu kamu mau dapat recognition dari siapa? It's about negotiating with yourself. Kamu harus ngomong dong sama dirimu supaya kamu mau dapat recognition dari siapa. Aku tangkapnya kayak gitu sih Betari.
That's actually correct. That's correct. You need to keep open for discussion with yourself actually.
And right now we got a support tools yang gonna help you to, just recognize yourself. And that's called done list.
Yeah. Just give it a shot, really.
Kita harus tambahin kata well deh di depannya, well done.
Well done this. That's a good idea actually. Okay, so I've got some beberapa list yang mungkin terlihat kecil, but looking back at it, I was kind of proud of it. For example,
Show me.
I wrote it in
Day one.
Yes, it was the 1st May 2020. So aku selalu memulai dengan ini. Hari ini Bea sudah titik gitu kan. And followed by the list and how I feel about it. So what I put in the list is makan tepat waktu. And I wrote clap beside that. Meaning at that time I was
really
happy that finally I eat kayak nggak randomly. I set time.
Dude.
That's small, but yeah, I think I was proud. I think. And I also sit with my feelings and talk to it. Also, I wrote ngomel-ngomel. I'm not sure what was that about, but I think it was a conversation with my friend about how I was frustrated about being unproductive, and she said, well, ngomel-ngomel is part of creating, so you cannot skip that part. I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was. Yeah, oh my god.
Orang Inggris jago ngeles gak sih?
Jago
Kenapa ya
ngeles
aku merasa orang Inggris itu jago ngeles gitu? Antara terlalu jago mengapresiasi atau terlalu jago ngeles?
But it's healthy, I have to say. Ada lagi nih.
Iya sih.
Ini small thing juga. I remember aku tuh ngoreksi PR adik sepupuku. So she send me tugas sekolahnya, dia masih SMP BTW. Terus kayak dia, Mbak, lihatin dong gitu kan. Aduh gitu kan, kayak ya gimana lagi ya, mereka bukan homeschooling, lagi school from home gitu kan, lagi study from home.
Iya.
Ya udahlah ya, gitu, mungkin dia juga frustrated, orang tuanya juga capek atau gimana. Okay, so I look at it. But I wrote, interestingly, I was not very happy because she becomes very dependent on me and I don't have time for sudden slot. Like dia suka tiba-tiba gitu kan, kayak nge-WA, Mbak, lihatin dong Mbak. I was not very happy. So I was being honest about my feeling on my diary. But I told her I cannot do that anymore after today because I have my own assignments. So I was proud of my own straightforwardness. So this kind of stuff.
Oh, that's real. That's real.
Doesn't have to be a big.
Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be big things, but you need to start recognize that you do something during the day. So yeah.
Jadi sometimes the well done list bukan harus kayak task yang udah diselesaikan, tapi mungkin some creative approach to being better person.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Like visiting yourself where it's at. Like kalau emang kamu dalam posisi, okay, I'm not very happy about this, ya udah, attend to that. Say it directly that you're not happy about that and why you're not happy about that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, of course. Untuk apalagi untuk hal-hal yang besar ya, you really have to recognize what do you feel about it. If you're happy about it, what step that makes you happy? What part of it that makes you happy that day?
I think that's gonna help us learn.
Yes.
It's gonna help us learn about ourselves and what kind of recognition we want for ourselves, or from who, or sometimes maybe you don't need recognition at that time. Maybe.
Yes.
I think it's gonna help people in this kind of time, gak sih? Apalagi di masa-masa gak ada kerjaan sama sekali, no task, no to-do list. That is a well done list.
Well done list, yeah. And actually when you talk to yourself and train yourself to recognize what's going on in the day, being mindful about that, you will start to realize what kind of recognition that actually that yourself actually need. Oh, okay, I think I need appreciation about this, or I need somebody to tell me about this. So next time when you meet someone that you expect to give or to provide such feedbacks, you can tell them what you need. Like, I think I need to hear from you about this. Could you please give me some feedbacks about that? So we are being clearer in articulating what we need to hear from others and hopefully develop ourselves better because we get feedbacks that we really need instead of random ones. So,
And pro life tips, find a friend yang kasih feedback walaupun kamu enggak ya, bukan pro life tips ya itu.
In what way? How do you find that?
Iya, but I think people get what I mean, like find a support system.
Yes.
Kayak aku dan Betari.
Yay! I'm happy.
Yeah, benar kan?
Yeah, we always have each other. That's amazing, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm always surprised.
It's so surreal. I was starting to make friend with you, and now I'm friend of your girlfriend, and that's
Iya
fantastic.
loh,
Actually, we've been in this circle for
kita
years.
cuman ketemu waktu kampus dan itu nggak terlalu banyak loh
Iya,
sebenarnya.
nggak lama loh.
But the same person will relate with the same person,
Iya.
something like that. Maybe ya.
Similar minds, things alike. I think we stick together because we find recognition in each other. We know that we appreciate the same things, similar things, and we talk in the same, so to speak, same language, mental language, social language.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's really nice. It's really nice, guys. So yeah, that's from us, I guess. It's been like, actually ini udah sejam, tapi kalau bagi aku ya Betari, it feels short. Kayak wow, udah sejam gitu.
yeah, I think ya kita selalu ngobrol nggak bisa pendek kok, Kusbin. Udahlah.
Iya. Yang kemarin konversasi itu 40 menitan lebih ya.
Yes,
If I'm
kalau
not
nggak
mistaken.
lagi. Exactly, kalau nggak lagi recording kita juga pernah telepon 2 jam ya kan, ngobrol ngalur.
Oh iya.
I don't know,
Iya
2 jam,
loh, waktu
3
kita
jam.
testing itu ya.
Oh.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that's it, guys. Kayak, I know some of us feel stuck, and if you're not, you're lucky. Be grateful for it. And if you guys stuck, I hope we can get over from this stuck together. Maybe doing some well done list. Maybe learn who you want recognition from, because you can't lie to yourself that you don't need recognition. You're human. There's a backing up. There's a research backed by research.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's that.
Before we end it, I really want to hear from you. Like, what are the takeaway points from you? Like, which part of our
The
conversation?
takeaway points.
Yeah. The story starts from you, so I need to hear something that you take personally.
Karena sebenarnya aku sambil curhat ke Betari ini, teman-teman. Aku ngajak dia konversasi ini sebenarnya dengan alasan curhat, tapi dikonversasiin. Itu agak selati juga ya.
It's okay. It's a coping strategy, but it's good. I'm glad that you're reaching out. Really, yeah.
The takeaway points, guys. To make it short, I feel like it's true. Kayak aku udah conflicted. Semakin jelas kalau misalnya I'm conflicted. Kayak aku nggak mau ambil credit about what I do. I'm not satisfied with that thing because I don't take credit from that things, and I don't find siapa yang aku mau dapat recognition-nya. Is it my significant others, my parents, or who? Sampai sekarang aku belum temuin jawabannya sebenarnya. Tapi mungkin setelah aku melakukan well done list atau bertanya lagi sama diriku, mungkin aku dapat jawaban. But right now it feels so good already karena I know this feeling is like normal stuff, everyone feeling it, and I don't know, is everyone going through something like this?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing people who listen to this to share their experience as well. I mean, people can have different experience and different meaning of their experience about it. So it's gonna be fun to hear.
Mungkin ini juga menambah depth kepada pribadiku, di mana it's not about kamu gak pernah puas, Kelvin, tapi kamu belum menemukan sesuatu yang make you satisfied. Mungkin kayak gitu ya.
Probably, yeah.
The recognition that makes you satisfied.
Yeah, you don't even know what you want. Oh dear. Yeah.
You get good life, money and stuff, but come on.
Yeah, and anyway, one last thing, I promise. I really I want to recommend one book for you to read. The English book is a more powerful
Let me write
in
the
terms
title.
of message. It's Keep Going from Austin Kleon.
Keep going?
Yeah, the title is Keep Going.
That's your favorite author.
Yes, and I finished that book not long ago, and one of the most important point as well that I got from that book is don't underestimate quitting. We can talk about it for another whole episode. What my point is here, sometimes we need to quit things that is not helpful for us, including expecting recognition from someone that, as I said to you, is not a sustainable source of energy. So, that's important as well. Just give it a read and let me know what do you think about it.
I think I will hijack this from somewhere on the website.
Nice. Oh, I think if you use Kindle or I think Gramedia has the ebook as well. Not very expensive, but the whole
Gramedia have an ebook store.
Check that out.
Tahu?
Baru booming aja sih gara-gara ini kali ya, lockdown ya. Jadi orang pada baca.
Oh ya, Gramedia ebook.
Iya, serius, ntar dicari ya.
Serius ada loh.
Ada.
ebooks.gramedia.com. Ini kita harus dipromosiin sama Gramedia nih.
Endorse.
Fiction premium package, full premium package. Ini kayak subscribe gitu.
Iya, dan kayak most of my friend tuh berbagi gitu loh, kayak Netflix family gitu kan. Jadi kayak mereka satu paket dibagi berapa orang. Jadi murah banget.
Oh iya. Jadi keep going, mana ya? Austin Kleon kan namanya?
Iya, Austin Kleon, kayak Kleon.
Kayak kameleon gitu.
Iya.
Austin Kleon ini ada berapa buku ya? Kok cuma satu sih di sini yang premium?
Oh, really?
Iya. Cuma newspaper more. Itu bukan Austin Kleon.
Yeah,
mungkin aku cari deh nanti di Google aja.
Yeah, supposedly dia ada di mana-mana kok. Itu buku bagus banget, kayak one of the best I've ever read. Basically, I love Austin Kleon, so that might be a biased argument, but it is good.
Guys, bukan promosi tapi aku cuma mau support Gramedia sedikit. Full premium package cuma 89.000 per bulan.
See?
Dan mungkin buku-buku ya kalau misalnya kamu beli satu buku aja itu udah 90.000.
Exactly.
Ya at least itu biografinya presiden ya. Beli buku biografi itu 100 something.
Iya.
Jarang ada yang 90 ribuan.
Benar, mahal sih. Tapi dengan
it's worth it.
Iya, apalagi ebook kan bisa kamu bawa kemana-mana, nggak berat juga gitu loh. Anyway. So, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah, it's been nice to share with you. Kayak ya ini curhat yang dikonversasikan. Jadi teman-teman, maafkan kalau misalnya kalian ternyata berhasil mendengar di sini sampai akhir, kalian berhasil mendengarkan curhatku. Dan kami berharap kalian dapat sesuatu dari curhatan ini, dari sharing ini. And sampai sekarang aku juga masih tetap merasa bahwa I don't take credits from konversasi. I just love doing it. But a little credit will be nice, guys. Really so.
Let's keep supporting each other. It's important to, it's important to stay strong together as creators, as audience and creator. Yeah, support us, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. Support Beta Cerita. Beta punya podcast juga di Spotify. Judulnya Beta Cerita. A lot of, daging semua isinya. Kayaknya kata-kata itu lagi ngetren ya sekarang, daging semua.
Gara-gara Bos Mardigo.
Iya. Itu. Iya, jadi gara-gara itu. Pokoknya Betari juga have a quality content for you. And it's not long kayak konversasi yang selalu biasanya 40 menit. Kayaknya Beta Cerita kadang ada yang 15 menit, 20 menitan ya.
Iya, ada yang pendek-pendek karena bikinnya on the spot. So, anyway. Yeah, please have a visit. Yeah.
Have a visit to there. Okay then, Betari Aisyah, thank you so much for I'm a little bit relieved sharing this to someone who have kind of the same mind with me.
Glad to
Really.
hear that. That's really good to hear. Yeah, it actually,
Yeah, and
I feel some burden on my chest also lift off. Thank you for that.
you should. Oh yeah,
Yes.
I think you still have some for beta cerita.
I should consider recording after this. So thank you.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening this far. And Betari, thank you so much for listening.
Ya, please take a good care. Guspin, terima kasih banyak.
Kamu juga di Bristol. I think it's gonna be. I think you're gonna be safe kayaknya.
And you will be too.
Amin. Amin.
All
And
right.
everyone who hear this, wish you safe.